Hello guys, Dr.Pitanger here, and today I want to share my top 5 starters for IS5. So little disclaimer before I start, I do not pretend these 5 starters to be the best starters in IS5. I don't even know if there's an objectively best starter in IS5. There is probably dozens, maybe even hundreds of good starters in IS5. It's just that I usually pick these ones because these are both 1, fun, and 2, actually very efficient for me. So if you have any other, feel free to comment under this video what is your starter of choice in IS5, and in the meantime let's start with mine. So let me just state some rules before I start this video. First of all, we start from the principle that you only have 6 hope, so no hope increase from an early bonus, no hope increase from a specific squad. Second of all, no hope decrease from any squad, for example no hope decrease from any tactical squad. This also means no already E2 operator. And third of all, this is in difficulty level 12, so 5 stars only cost 2 and 6 stars only cost 6. So with that out of the way, let's start. Number 5. La Pluma, Amiya and Deep Color. This start only costs 4 hope, so it lets you save 2 hope for the next fight when you will level up, gain 4 hope, and will be able to recruit a 6-star or E2, one of the 3 operators I mentioned. I feel like this is an extremely strong start for many reasons. Amiya is able to heal La Pluma. La Pluma is an extremely strong lane holder in the beginning, and Deep Color is a summoner, which, as I mentioned in other videos, in my opinion is extremely strong in IS5, particularly for floor 2. So this team has basically anything, right? It has arts damage, it has physical damage, range damage, melee damage. Operators don't cost that much to deploy, even though La Pluma is quite a bit expensive, but usually it shouldn't be that much of an issue. Still, you should probably look for a Vanguard ASAP. So usually the plan with this is you recruit a 6-star on the first fight, then you try to E2 your operators ASAP, and you also try to get a Vanguard, and from this point on, you're good to go. Number 4. Utage, Kal'tsit, and Deep Color. So this start costs 6 hope total. Some people may think, isn't Kal'tsit even more expensive than La Pluma? And that's true. However, Utage can be used if you absolutely need some lane holder at some point, which from my experience you don't need that much. So you should be able to deploy Kal'tsit in most early stages, use Utage to destroy the crystals, and use Deep Color to deal some range damage, and her tentacles to bait some attacks or push enemies in holes, this kind of stuff. So again, this team has a lot of things. It has healing, it has lane holding, it has range damage, melee damage. Again, you absolutely want a Vanguard. It's just that I really like Kal'tsit in IS5, particularly with her alpha module. So the priority here is to E2 Kal'tsit, get a Vanguard, and from this point on you're absolutely good to go. Kal'tsit can shred through any early stage in IS5 as long as you have her at E2 and have her alpha module unlocked. Number 3, and this is probably one of my most controversial starting squad, Beanstalk, Acid Drop, and Sui Alter. Let me explain. Beanstalk is just a very good early unit. You can use a summon for so many things. You can use it to bait some attacks from Sarka's binders. You can use it to tank some attacks from Sarka's lenses. You can use it to push some enemies in holes. It's a very versatile tool. Some people will see Sui Alter and think to themselves, have you lost your mind? And let me explain. Sui Alter is a very good early game unit because it allows you to completely bypass the epoch that reduces your HP by 70%, offers you a tool to redeploy your unit, has actually quite a lot of stalling tools thanks to IS2. The only thing she struggles with in the very early game is destroying crystals, and that's exactly why I decided to pick Acid Drop. Acid Drop is your crystal destroyer that can then be redeployed to help with the overall DPS. If you don't want Sui Alter, you can probably switch her for Ascalon. It's just that I really like an early game healing tool. And the main thing about this whole team is that all units are very cheap to deploy. Sui Alter costs less than 10, Acid Drop costs like 14 or 15 or something, and Beanstalk same thing. So all of your units are very cheap to deploy, which means even if you go above the toy limit, you won't have an issue at all. While with Ascalon, it would be a bit more difficult. Sui Alter also offers the advantage to benefit from the hand of ambushers and merchants, which means that if you get this hand, you can also pick Ascalon afterwards, and they will both benefit from it. I know this may look like a very weird team to you, but trust me, give it a try. You probably won't be disappointed. At least I've never been. Number 2. Kazemaru, Beanstalk, and Toddy Fonts. I use Kazemaru over Tin Man because, again, I only use waifus, so it's no use asking me the question, but why don't you use Tin Man? I don't fucking care. Kazemaru is an extremely strong early game lane holder that can basically one-shot any unit with IS2. Beanstalk, I mean, I've mentioned her enough before, so I won't talk too much about her. And Toddy Fonts will be your crystal destroyer that will later on evolve into a pretty good AoE damage dealer in my opinion. There's a lot of tricks with this team. You can use beanstalks, summons with S1 or even S2 in order to quote-unquote manipulate where Kazemaru's clone is gonna end, which can also be used to destroy some crystals early if you don't want Todifons to do this job. So obviously you may notice this team really lacks a healer, so the first thing you want to do is get a unit that is able to heal actively or passively, so a medic or a supporter or even a defender like Gummy. Another thing you may notice that this is another one of the teams that only cost 4, so whenever you level up you're gonna get 4 more hope and you're gonna be able to recruit a 6-star, or again to E2 one of the units you already have. So try to look up for things like Gummy, Perfumer, E2 Todifons, E2 Kazemaru, this kind of stuff. And finally, easily the starter I use the most, Indigo, Gummy and Narantuya. This team basically has it all. It has range damage, it has melee damage, it has physical damage, it has odds damage, it even has some AoE thanks to Narantuya S2. Narantuya S2 in the early game is a very strong tool to destroy the crystals. Gummy can easily offset the epoch that reduces your HP by 70%. I use Indigo over Click simply because, well, Click is a child, so if you want to use Click, that's absolutely fine. And why do I use Narantuya over Whistledale? Fuck you, that's why. So again, this is one of these teams that absolutely want a Vanguard really early on. It's not that mandatory because Narantuya doesn't cost that much to deploy. Still, you should absolutely find one ASAP and obviously try to E2 Narantuya too. This is pretty much the team I've had the most success with. However, I'm also curious, what do you guys use as a starting team? If you're a new player or if you haven't tried IS5 yet for some reason, you can try one of the teams I mentioned. You can also tweak some things and find what suits you the most. So feel free to comment your own starts in IS, leave a like, subscribe, and see you in the next video.